Hey everyone, good afternoon. By the way, yeah, first timer here, first time in Utah, did not realize that altitude kind of messes you up pretty good. Figured snowshoeing would be the easiest thing to like ease into it, and I think I'm gonna get absolutely smoked out there. But yeah, so like John said, Harrison Grymes, Senior Account Executive at Dstillery, been with the company now for 5.5 years. Just gonna take you through some methodology about where we are today, where we see targeting going into the future in 2025, and without further ado, for those of us who have never, or for those of you who have never heard of Dstillery, we are an AI-based ad targeting company helping power programmatic advertising. We've been in this space for a long time, since 2008, refining and revolutionizing programmatic predictive modeling. And really at our core, we are a data science company. We have 23 patented technologies powering our various solutions. I'm going to speak to a few of those specifically here in just a moment. And then we've got data and activation options to drive performance for any KPI. So we really hold a lot of pride in the fact that we can work with any brand, big and small, any vertical, and really help drive performance for any business objectives and KPIs. Like I said, we've got these 23 patents that power our various ID-based and ID-free solutions, 4 of which are specific to data hygiene and fraud control. So we put a huge emphasis on efficiency of our audiences and ensuring that, I think we all have the same mentality of like garbage in equals garbage out. So being able to mitigate that and ensure that all the data that's coming into our systems and that's ultimately being modeled for predictive behavioral targeting is accurate, clean data. Now, as it stands today, we've got really 2 sides to the house here at Dstillery. We've got our ID-based audiences, which you can, I think we're all very familiar with how those are, user-based scoring segments. And then we've got our ID-free solution, which is a little bit newer to the game. It has been in use since 2000, but since those 4 years, since it's been rolled out, we've seen a lot of increased adoption and increased momentum around brands who either just want to use cookieless solutions for privacy-centric buying, or they're looking just to extend their ultimate reach, do their buying outside of the Chrome browser and take some of their targeting to things like Safari and browsers like that. So to talk a little bit more about our ID-based targeting solutions, we source our data from the bid stream as well as non-ad supported websites. That's to really help us build a more holistic profile of each anonymous device profile, of which there are about 750 million within our device universe. We rescore billions of events daily and score those events against, and those devices against 10 million diverse behavioral attributes. Really, the goal of that is to capture the unique DNA of every device within our universe. As I mentioned, we've got hundreds of millions of anonymous device profiles being refreshed and rescored every 24 hours. We put a huge emphasis on making sure that as soon as someone starts to display behaviors that they are coming into market for a particular brand or product, we want to make sure that they're getting engaged with those ads at an early point in that consumer journey and ultimately helping them drive them down funnel and ultimately to conversion. And then lastly, for ID-based targeting, we've got an array of ways that you can work with us. So we've got partners and brands who work with us using first-party data, custom URLs, custom search data, and much, much more. We've got a number of different partnership data sources as well. So one of the things that we like to really work on when we're working with agency teams or brands directly is using those various data sources to ensure that we're really aligning to the ultimate goals and specifications of the campaign that they're looking to run. Now, of course, cookies and cookie deprecation and regulation around data privacy has been a huge thing over the past 5 years, or probably a few years actually beyond that. And of course, cookies has been kind of the name of the game and how we conduct targeting and tracking user behaviors thus far. And how can you do that same type of effective targeting without cookies? This is really where ID-free kind of enters the ballgame and using AI to predict website visits most likely to reach and engage with your customers. So with our ID-free technology, one of the benefits of it is we can seed our ID-free models using the same types of inputs and the same types of data sources as our ID-based audiences. Purpose of that is to really kind of drive some alignment and cohesion. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We want to make sure that those same data sources that I think all brand teams and all agencies know and understand are the same types of data sources that we can use to build out these ID-free models. So once we've identified what that seed data is going to be, we match those behaviors from that seed data, whether it be first-party data or some sort of proxy, with browsing patterns extracted from anonymous opt-in devices. So we partner with a panel-based data provider that passes us opted-in panel behavioral data that is done outside the ad tech ecosystem. So one thing, I think durability is a big thing in our space, and ensuring that, what types of targeting solutions people have today, people are still able to use these new types of solutions into the future, regardless of what happens with cookies, with Google, and any sort of regulations that come down the pipe over the next few years. So once we've matched those behaviors of your seed data to that opt-in panel, we're then able to expand those patterns using our map of the internet, which we refer to as MODI, which is really the core of our ID-free technology. So it's able to take all of those positive and negative signals associated with that browsing patterns and expand it to all ad-supported websites on the internet. We can then package that up by way of PMP deals, predictive bidding API, which is a custom bidding algorithm, as well as our integration with the Trade Desk's contextual marketplace to help you really target the best inventory, the best impressions for your brand to really continue to engage with those consumers. Like I said, we want to make sure that we are DSP agnostic. We want to make sure that we are as flexible as possible to make sure that we are able to support you wherever you're doing your buying and whatever platforms you're using. So for our user-based segments, those can be activated on any major DSP as well as social platforms, and those again are rescored and refreshed every 24 hours. And then for ID-free, again, we want to make sure that we're able to support whatever DSP you're working with, whatever SSP is being used. So that can be utilized via PMPs with CTV now available, predictive bidding, which is an API connection specific to the Trade Desk, as well as a contextual integration. And again, that is something that is right now specific to the Trade Desk. And I think we all can attest that pricing is a huge factor in terms of working with data partners. So we want to make sure that we are not only competitive pricing-wise, but the efficiency and the waste and the elimination of wasted ad impressions really helps to make sure that your media dollars and every dollar spent on a campaign is being used and spent effectively. And so right here, we can. We've got a number of different case studies. This one specifically is showing a 61 more efficient CPM from an auto brand test that we ran last year. And lastly, this is kind of one of the themes, is our ability to work with any brand, regardless of vertical, regardless of business objective and KPI and what they're looking to achieve, whether it be awareness-based, lower funnel, DR response. So we want to make sure that in working with someone like myself and our client services team, as well as our data science team, that we're putting our best foot forward and our best solutions in front of you. And again, I think we've heard this a few times throughout the day, is test and learn, figure out what works best for your brand, and then continue that evolution in your targeting strategy into 2025 and beyond. And so that's all I've got for today. I know we're all excited to go skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, whatever it might be. I'll be putting on the snowshoes here pretty soon. So thank you very much. Appreciate the time.